Good evening, everybody. It is Charlie, and welcome back to the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Hope everyone has had a great day so far, as always. Just before we get into tonight's video, please make sure that you are smashing that like button. It really does help get it out there to, everybody. It just helps with the algorithm. It just helps get it out there to more people. Please subscribe to the channel if you are brand new as well, and help me get to 4K as soon as possible. That would be very much appreciated. Hit me up in the comment section as we go through the stream, guys. And if you're watching afterwards, hit me up in the comment section down below. Hit the notification bell and check out the membership features on the channel. It's time for the last say. From Leeds United 1, Middlesbrough 0 last night at the Riverside. Leeds United reclaiming top spot in the Championship with 5 games remaining. Crunch time now, ladies and gents, and Leeds United are in pole position once again. So yeah, I can see there's a few of you in the building already, which is good to see. Philip's in on YouTube. How are you, beautiful Leeds fans? I am still buzzing with the win. So am I, mate. The world is a better place, isn't it, today? The world feels a lot nicer. And, I hope everyone has had a lovely day, apart from Darren Williams. And we'll be coming on to that in just a bit. But yeah, look, guys, like I've just alluded to there a little bit, it's amazing what, the space of a few days, how things can change in football. I think after the Luton game, we'd all kind of resigned ourselves to the playoffs. Then Oxford go and beat Sheffield United after our game on Saturday, and you think, well, it's kind of back in our hands a little bit now. And, you're still feeling a bit doom and gloom. You're still not overly positive. I said in my Middlesbrough preview that Leeds would win the game 2-1. I did think we would concede last night, but that was said kind of through gritted teeth, I guess. I wasn't 100% confident of that scoreline. I just thought the fact that Boro were coming into this game, either second or third in the form table, and we were 15th in the form table. I just thought, at the Riverside, they absolutely despise us. The atmosphere would have been rocking. And, but yeah, Leeds turn up. We get the job done. Burnley draw at Derby, which again we'll be coming on to towards the end of the video. Sheffield United get beat again, and we're back to the top of the league, and it's a bit more positive now. I am not going to get carried away. I'm not going to get ahead of myself like I think we all did after we beat Sheffield United. I think we all thought it was more or less done. How wrong were we? There's still 5 games remaining, and like I said on my reaction last night, which if you haven't already, go and check that out. It's all well and good beating Middlesbrough, but we've got to follow it up on Saturday now, and we have to get over this, this curse of the 12:30 kickoffs. It's at home. Preston are 14th. They've not got anything to play for, so hopefully Leeds can follow it up. But again, we'll come on to that towards the end. David's in the building, currently out walking in the beautiful Florida sunshine. All the more sweeter after last night. I find that absolutely crazy, and just, yeah, that someone is listening to little old me waffle about Leeds United in Florida. But yeah, fair play to you, mate. Hope you're having a lovely day out there. So say my boss at work, a Chef U fan, I've been giving him it. Ooh, he can take it, I hope. I mean, you know what? I'd be doing the exact same. With the job I do, I do sometimes bump into Sheffield United fans, and I didn't today, unfortunately, but I'm sure I will before the week is up. So yeah, it'll be nice to see how they're all feeling, won't it? Matt's in the building. Bamford really owns the Riverside. Well, I mean, he nearly did, didn't he, mate? He nearly did with that cameo last night. We'll be coming on to Pat Bamford, actually. I want to have a little chat around Patrick at some point during this video. But like I say, guys, make sure you're liking, you're commenting, and subscribing if you are brand new. It really means a lot. So, the specifics of the game then. Let's start with the lineup. When the lineup came out at 7 o'clock last night, I'll be honest, guys, I was a little bit disappointed. Again, in hindsight, now you can say I was wrong, which yeah, I probably was. But I just thought after the Luton game, I thought it would have made sense to have dropped Manor Solomon, who I thought didn't perform great at Luton. And I thought it would have made sense to have maybe put Nonto in on the left. And I kind of had an inkling, and I knew he was going to bring Brendan Aronson in. I knew that we would have been seeing Nonto in the 10. But I thought, if you put Nonto out wide, it gives Solomon a bit of a breather. Hopefully he could have bounced back with a better performance against Preston. But obviously he went with more or less the same team. Obviously the only changes that were made were Gruev coming into the midfield alongside Tanaka, which we all knew. Ampadu going back to centre back, and Brendan Aronson coming back into the number 10. The people calling for Bamford before the Middlesbrough game, I understand it now after last night. But after his cameo at Luton, I was thinking, yeah, it was a decent enough cameo, but for me, didn't do enough to warrant a start, given I know Joe Perreault's been frustrating of late and he is on a bit of a goal drought, but he's got 15 goals in the league this season. And if there's anybody who I would want a chance to fall to in the box, it would be Joe Perreault. So that's the reason why I still think Joe Perreault should be starting in the team, even after Bamford's cameo last night as well. And let's be honest, you just never know, dear, when Patrick Bamford is going to break down, because unfortunately for Patrick, he is made of biscuits. Now, I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it. The lineup. Were you happy to see Gruev come back in? Gruev does seem to be a player that kind of splits the fan base as well. I think he was probably the only option with Joe Rothwell being out for a few games now. But I actually thought Gruev performed quite well in the game last night. And I'll be honest, I am not a Gruev fan. People who've watched the channel for a while will know I am not a Gruev fan at all. But I must admit, he was fairly solid last night. And I actually thought he broke up play quite well. And it's probably the best I've seen him and Tanaka look as a pivot partnership, to be honest. I think the previous games that they featured together, it hasn't looked as fluid and it hasn't looked as balanced. But last night, I thought Farke got it spot on with the tactics in midfield. Like I said, I understood why he brought Brendan Aronson in. It was a game that suited Brendan Aronson more than what obviously the Luton game did. I still didn't think Aronson was overly great, if I'm being honest with you. I thought he could have done a lot more. There's a lot of times where there was one specific time actually in that game last night where he picks up the ball, he does a Maradona turn to get out of trouble, great bit of play, but then he just holds onto the ball way too long and gets dispossessed. And it's just that final decision in that final phase of an attack where he just lacks at the minute. And I think he really needs to improve on that. Because if he did, I'm not sure if I'd have him in the Premier League, but at Championship level, he would be even better if he could just work on that just that final phase of the game. But yeah, overall, guys, I was happy with the lineup. I just would have liked to have seen Nonto start ahead of Manor Solomon. But let me know your guys' thoughts on it. Matt's saying the performance shows fight how it should have been. It should have been an easy 3-0. Don't you worry, mate. We will be coming on to that. Gruev was solid last night. Yeah, I thought so too, mate. I thought so too. It was a bit of a surprise, but really happy with his performance. Who are you talking about there, Philip? Are you on about Gruev there? Because if you are, then yeah, I agree. I was pleasantly surprised with his performance, actually. I thought that he might not have done as good, but yeah, I thought it was good. So yeah, and obviously into the game, quick start from Leeds, as we all know. Took the lead inside 2 or 3 minutes. Dan James with the goal. 2 goals in 2 games now for Dan, in some good form, starting to hit those performances, the performance levels, that we have come to expect this season. I felt of late he's been a bit quiet in games, but the Luton game, I thought he was probably the only player that was trying to do anything going forward. And last night, I think he got player of the match from Sky, and he's got player of the match from the club as well, and rightfully so. I thought it was excellent last night. Just how he gets Leeds up the pitch, his pace in behind is a huge asset. Even his goal just doesn't give up on it. And obviously beats the Boro player to the ball. I'm quite fortunate how it ends up in at the back of the net, but it was nice to see Leeds actually get a scrappy goal like that. And lo and behold, Solomon with the assist after I was unhappy to see him in the starting 11. I thought he actually had an improved performance, Solomon. I thought it was decent last night, to be fair to him. I did. And I'll be honest, guys, I didn't expect Leeds United to start off in that manner. I thought it would have took a little bit more to have broken that Middlesbrough team down. Obviously, they've got a lot of experience in there, like of Johnny Howson, that we all know so well. As like a makeshift centre back, I thought he actually had a good game. I thought we could have exploited him a little bit more than we did. But like I said, great start to the game, and it. Well, I say it was a sign of things to come. I said it last night on the review. I did feel that Leeds deserved the win overall. I did. But if I'm being honest, I have to give compliments to Middlesbrough. I thought they did play well in the game as well. They actually turned up to play football and actually tried to win the game, which I said before, in my preview that would suit Leeds down to the ground, and it did. They obviously had some chances. I think Ian Acho had one in the first half. They get the goal, which was rightfully ruled out for offside. A decision that the linesman got right. Well done, Lino. But I still felt Leeds on the transition, on the counter-attack, were excellent last night. Again, I know it was only 1-0, but it could have been more, and it should have been more. But yeah, Tom's in the building. A massive 3 points last night, but yet again, a poor performance. We was all over the place in defence. I still worry about the lower teams we still have to play. Okay, yeah, fair enough, Tom, mate. If that is your opinion, that is absolutely fine, and I respect your opinion. However, I do disagree. I thought Leeds were deserved of the 3 points last night. I didn't think it was a poor performance. I actually thought in the games that we've had in this poor run, I felt that was the best performance by far last night. We looked a lot more urgent with the ball, a lot better on the ball actually as well. The passing was a lot better. And going forward, I thought we looked more threatening. I get what you mean about the defensive side of it. I actually thought we defended quite well, and it was actually a pleasant surprise to see us defend in that manner towards the end of the game. I think it probably didn't seem as good because it was a bit frantic, and obviously it was nervy, it was panicky. I'm sure it was very tense in the ground. So you can understand that to a degree, but I thought Leeds played quite well last night, mate. But again, each to their own. I always believed that we was going to win the match, and yeah, definitely deserved the win. Must admit, Phil, I wasn't 100% convinced we were going to win the game, even at 1-0. I thought we'd scored too early. I really did. But amazing character shown by the boys to get that one over the line. And yeah, you was on about Groove. Yeah, I thought so, pal. I thought so. Definitely the longest last 10 minutes of a game mate. I was nearly falling off of my sofa last night. My legs were like jelly. Every Boro attack, every like half opportunity that they had when they were firing balls across the box, and there wasn't anybody getting on the end of it. And that amazing save by Carl Darlow from Bergzorg to keep Leeds United in the lead as well. I thought Carl Darlow was excellent. Last night. And maybe neutrals would have looked at that and thought it's just a normal goalkeeping performance. But let's be honest, people. Have we been used to a normal goalkeeping performance this season? I don't think we have. And again, I don't want to harp on about Illan Meslier, but if that's Illan Meslier in goal, then that is a goal for me. Bergzorg scores that if that's Illan Meslier in goal. I thoroughly believe that. But Carl Darlow just used his experience, used his body well. His feet position was on point, and he makes a very good save to keep Leeds United in the game. I thought Carl Darlow was excellent. But like I said, Middlesbrough were putting pressure on us. That they were getting men forward. I thought they were very good on the ball. Like I said, they looked confident in possession, but they just couldn't finish their dinner. And obviously, I'm thankful of that fact. But there's some good operators out there, like Finn Azaz, Tommy Conway, Aidan Ackney, or Morgan Whittaker came on in the second half. They've got good players in their ranks. Dykesdale at right back, Illing Jr. at left back, who I thought was very good. But again, Leeds just showed great character last night, and I thought they defended fairly well. I get Tom's point about the fact that it didn't look as good because it was so frantic and tense, but it's a promotion running. It's for Middlesbrough, it's a playoff running. It was going to be tense. It was always going to be tense last night, and it was always going to be a cagey game and a horrible game to watch, and it was. But we managed to get it over the line, and that is the main thing, isn't it? That is the main thing. The same, Boro probably one of the very few teams that actually come and play football against us. Yeah, I agree. I thought they did it at Ellen Road as well when we beat them 3-1. And I think that's why we managed to pick them off so easily that night at Ellen Road. I remember being there and I was very nervous before the game, but it turned out to be one of the more routine wins of the season. David saying, good to see Darlow taking his time to play out too. Yeah, exactly. And I thought his distribution was very good, David, last night. I don't know about you, mate, but I really do think Carl Darlow's distribution wasn't spoken about enough last night. Yes, every clearance from a goalkeeper doesn't hit the desired target. But again, vast improvement on what we had in net before. Saying, yeah, Melia would have flapped at that 100%, mate. Love the Darlow. Yeah, exactly. The fact Carl Darlow's already got a song just tells you enough, doesn't it, guys? But before we go any further, 12 of you in the building this evening, which is fairly good numbers at this time of the night. Really do appreciate it. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be very much appreciated, ladies and gents. Thank you very much. It's stuck in my head. Yeah, it was me as well, pal. You could hear it through the telly on Sky. Now, let's get into the elephant in the room, shall we? Sorry, guys, I've just got a pen in my hand because I'm just making notes as I'm speaking, so I remember what I want to say because I have got a bit of a poor memory like that, and I can go on tangents. So, let's address the elephant in the room, as I said. The officials. The officials in the EFL strike again. Not in the favour of Leeds United. Shock. Darren Williams, linesman. Yeah. Just, does it really surprise anybody at this point? The Bamford goal, it isn't Darren Williams, obviously, because it's the other liner, but the Bamford goal, as much as it is onside, and I was fuming about it, I kind of have a very small amount of sympathy for the linesman on that one because it was quite quick how it happened. The run from Bamford, I'll be honest, I thought it was offside in real time, but obviously the replay showed that it was well on. But again, I couldn't kind of have a little bit of sympathy on that one. But the first one on Tanaka in the first half, absolutely ridiculous that goal didn't stand. Tanaka's the closest man to the liner, and it's not just the Boro defender in front of him that plays him on. But I can't remember, I can't remember what he was called, but I know it's shirt number 3 for Middlesbrough. He's even playing him on as well, so 2 men are playing him on, and he's the closest man to the liner, and he still hasn't seen it. Darren Williams, as I'm sure you've all seen today, he is the liner that disallowed the Perot goal against Millwall at Ellen Road a few games ago, which was miles onside as well. And he disallowed the Nonto goal at Coventry away, which would have seen Leeds United win the game 3-0 rather than 2-0, which again, miles onside. This is either, and I hate to be that guy, that comes out with this. It's either a conspiracy against Leeds United or he's just grossly incompetent at his job. Probably a bit of both, to be honest with you. Now, even Middlesbrough fans must have seen that after the game or even watching it and thought that they should have been well beaten last night. They should have got battered 3-0. People who didn't watch the game will see that scoreline and think, oh, close game, whatever. It shouldn't have been that close. And could you imagine, because Middlesbrough had their opportunities in that second half, they could have quite easily equalised. Could you imagine the uproar after the game if we'd come away from that game with a point or worst case losing? Could you imagine? Like Farker said after the game, why is this guy being sent to do Leeds United matches when he's already ballsed up in 2 previous games? Now, that's just what he's done against Leeds. So could you imagine all of the decisions that he's probably got wrong up and down the Championship this season? You want sacking on the spot. The ref and the officials last night, they want sacking on the spot. Genuinely. Because that was appalling. Come on, you lot, get talking and liking the video. Cheers, mate. Thank you. But both linesmen must have been wearing big. Stevie Wonder would have been able to see that. That's how mental it was that it wasn't spotted. He's just allowed 3 Leeds United goals this season. How many others for other teams? Literally what I just said, David, isn't it? Exactly. You bang on, mate. If this is what he's done just to Leeds, could you imagine what he's done up and down the Championship? Maybe over EFL games that he's done? Maybe League 1, League 2, whatever. I don't know. It's his first season officiating in the Championship as well. Maybe he's used to officiating Sunday League. But yeah, like I say, absolutely diabolical officiating once again. But what do we expect when it's the EFL? What do we expect? Just an absolute SHIT show all round. So yeah, positive performers for Leeds United then. I've already gone through a few. I thought Solomon improved. I thought Dan James was excellent. I thought Gruev was good. I thought Tanaka was a lot more improved as well. Jayden Bogle vastly improved on recent performances. He actually got forward a lot more and was trying to influence the attacks on the right-hand side. Junior Firpo, the same on the left as well, was linking up well with Solomon throughout the game. Carl Darlow I've already touched upon, but Joe Rodon and Ethan Ampadu. Let me know in the comment section, guys. I want your thoughts on this. I was listening to the Square Ball earlier, obviously the match ball that they did last night. And Chris Mack on there said that he thinks Pascal Struijk is probably the better defender, but that Ampadu and Rodon is the better centre-back pairing. It was either him or Michael Norman, and that said it. I can't remember which one. And I agree with that. I think Pascal Struijk is probably the better defender out of him and Ethan Ampadu. But I just think for some reason, Ampadu and Rodon just works better. They understand each other better, I think, given that they're both Welsh and play for the Welsh national team on a regular basis. They've got Carl Darlow behind them, again, Welsh international now. And I just think it works. Is it a coincidence that when Struijk's out of the team, we keep a clean sheet and win? Maybe it is a coincidence. Don't get me wrong, I think Pascal Struijk's a great defender and he has got attributes that are a benefit to Leeds United. And when he is fit, I understand why he goes with him, just because he's a left-sided left centre-back. I mean, a left-footed left-sided centre-back. But yeah, I just wanted your guys' thoughts on that. I would, if Struijk is out for the season now, which he could be if it's a fracture, as much as I don't want players injured, and but I wouldn't be too upset about that. as long as Ampadu doesn't get an injury. If Ampadu and Rodon can build that relationship again for the remaining 5 games, it could be what helps get Leeds United over the line. David's saying he agrees with the square ball lads as well. I agree, mate. Completely agree. I think that is our best centre-back partnership by a country mile. Negative performers, like I've touched upon, Brendan Aronson, Joel Perreault. Perreault needs a goal, doesn't he? He needs a goal on Saturday against Preston to really, I think, maybe get his confidence back up. But just back to positive performers, I forgot about the subs. I thought Nonto did well when he come on. I thought Isaac Schmidt looked decent when he come on as well. Sam Byram, I didn't understand him taking Junior Firpo off. But then again, I thought Byram was okay when he came on. But Pat Bamford, again, another great cameo from Patrick. Even at the end, sliding tackle and then beats his man, plays the ball over to Schmidt, who was going down and winning free kicks in the right areas, good football intelligence, and people are pushing for him to start. I understand it, and I think it's probably just because Perreault's not scoring at the minute. Bamford again had a goal last night, which was wrongfully ruled out. I, for one, would keep it as it is. I would stick with Perreault. Because if Bamford can come on and make sub appearances like that, again, impact player. When defences are tired, when the game's stretched more in second halves of games, you can bring Pat Bamford on and he can work them even more and tire them out endlessly. And I think he could be a huge asset off the bench. Largy Ramazani not used again. Not a single minute for Largy. I don't know if it was just for show or if it was just to show the fans that he's not falling out with him. But obviously Farker at the end with Largy, getting him to celebrate with the fans, that Ramazani was smiling and seemed in good spirits. So it's like, right, well, okay then. But, if obviously Dan James went off with a knock, didn't he? And apparently the rumour has it that he may not be fit enough for Saturday, which would be a huge blow for Leeds. But at the same time, you've got Largy there. I'm not saying Nonto's the best on the right-hand side, but he can play there. You could stick Nonto on the right, have Brendan Aronson in the middle, and Largy Ramazani on the left. And, that would be more than adequate, wouldn't it? That would be more than adequate to get the job done against the Preston North End team with nothing to play for, who are sat in 14th. But yeah, like I say, guys, get your comments in on the whole Patrick Bamford debate. Do you think Bamford should be starting? If so, why? I really don't think he should be. You just can't trust his body, his fitness. You just never know when he's going to break down again. But I understand the narrative, I do. But I would stick with Perreault and just keep using Bamford as an impact sub, especially if he's going to have a good of impact as what he did last night. And then, like I said earlier, we'll touch upon the other results in the running. Derby doing us a favour and getting a point against Burnley. I kind of predicted that, to be fair. I did think that Eustace would just Eustace the hell out of Burnley, which they did. Again, I haven't looked at the stats or anything like that, but again, I could predict that result a mile off. But what I didn't expect, given the fact that they lost to Oxford at the weekend, I did not expect Sheffield United to get beat at home by Millwall. I really didn't. All jokes aside, we can give them a bit of stick, and it's all banter, and that's fine. But none of us expected Millwall to go to Bramall Lane and win. I'm sorry, but and if you did, then fair play. But I definitely didn't. I fully expected the Blades to bounce back from the Oxford defeat, but back-to-back defeats is not good at this time of the season in a promotion running. So maybe Leeds United have ended their wobble just as Sheffield United are starting theirs. Burnley just don't seem to be losing games. I do think they will go up automatically. I think it is going to be between us and Sheffield United. I could very much see Burnley beating Sheffield United in that game as well. Obviously, this weekend's games, as we all know, Leeds at home to Preston in the early kickoff on Saturday. Sheffield United are away at Plymouth Argyle. Again, the team fighting for their lives. That could be an interesting one, and that is also at 12:30 at the same time as us. And Burnley are on Friday night, aren't they? They're at home to Norwich, which, could be a tricky one for them, but I thoroughly expect them to win, especially at Turf Moor. So, yeah. It's, like I say, guys, it's very tense at the minute. It's very, 50-50. Leeds United back on top. Goal difference is still good. Sheffield United seem to be having a wobble. Chris Wilder's losing his head, which is always good to see. And yeah, things are looking up. Things are looking better for Leeds United. But like I said at the beginning, we have to follow it up with a win on Saturday against Preston North End. And speaking of that game, guys, all of your pre-Preston content will be starting from tomorrow. So tomorrow night, I will be uploading a press conference reaction and a predicted 11 on the channel. So make sure that you check that out tomorrow night. And then on Friday, I will be with you for the Preston preview. I'm undecided whether I'll be doing it as a live or as a pre-record, but either way, there will be a preview out on the channel on Friday. There'll be no match day morning show on Saturday, as I am working for a few hours before I head down to the game. But I will get a reaction out after, and then there'll be another edition of The Last Say out on Sunday, where hopefully I will try and get somebody on. But if not, it'll just be me chatting waffle like you all love. Where Preston in the form table, I'm not too sure, if you like, David, I will get it up before we finish. But yeah, like I said, guys, all of your pre-Preston content will be starting tomorrow. So, trying to get the form table up now. So the form table, Leeds United are now 9th in the form table after that win last night. Preston are 20th in the form table, as they have got 6 points from their last 6 games. So again, we should definitely be beating Preston, David, 100%. Mate, for my dad, don't worry about it, mate. We are just finishing up, Phil. So if you want to go back and watch the bits that you've missed, then yeah, you can do. But like I said, guys, predicted 11 out tomorrow. Preview Friday. There'll be a review out after I get back from the game on Saturday, and another edition of The Last Say on Sunday. Keep it locked at Chatting Leeds, guys. If you've enjoyed tonight's stream, make sure that you're liking it. Make sure you're subscribing if you are brand new. Get your comments in if you're watching after the live has ended. And check out the membership features on the channel, along with hitting that notification bell. Really do appreciate everyone that's joined in tonight and everyone for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.